What up? How's it going, everybody? Long time no see. I have not streamed in like, I don't know, a month and a half or two. I don't even know. Looking forward to getting back on the horse a little bit. It's funny, I'm doing it right before the holidays though. So, like, no doubt I'm going to take a break again. But, yeah, I had some time. I had something I had to work on. And I thought it might be fun to hang out with some people. So, hop on in, pop in the chat. Let me pull up my, always such a pain to get this crap set up. I gotta pull up this thing so I can see my chat. Oh yeah, and you gotta let me know how the music comes through. Really important. Because I've had, sometimes it's too loud, sometimes it's too quiet, blah, 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 blah. It seems like it might be too loud now, just looking at the audio levels. What do you guys think? Turn it down a little bit? Is anybody, well, maybe nobody's here yet, so, I don't know. Somebody in chat. Anybody? Let's see. Got one person here, which, is that just me? Is it myself? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to plow ahead with this and see how it goes. Look at that, expert mute. Got a fancy little Streamlabs button, so you don't have to hear me clear my throat and shit. So I got a lot of interesting stuff that I'm doing differently. A lot of new tools. I'm using neovim. I'm using aerospace window tiling window manager, which is quite interesting. So like if I start, let me get on the monitor. If I open a new window, it like automatically tiles it for me, and I'm learning. It's pretty complicated, but I'm learning the whole like system to actually make this work, which is pretty interesting. Like if I just press Alt, I can and I navigate with HJKL, I can like move between windows. And if I press Alt and Shift, I can move windows around. So that's like swapping them. And even crazier, if I press Alt semicolon, and then Alt Shift, you can join windows together, which makes it's like this whole crazy tree structure thing. So I'm still figuring out how it all works. And you're gonna see me probably fumble it pretty hard while trying to figure all this out. But luckily, the thing that I'm doing today, of course that's not a command. The thing that I'm doing today is pretty simple. So I don't think we're really gonna have any trouble. I only need the one editor window, so it's going to be fine. But I will need to do like a .files review with all the new crap that I've come up with, because it's been interesting. Like I'm trying to do everything with neovim, with scripting Kitty Terminal to get it to do what I want, and do things with more CLI tools, etc. So I'll have to go over my .files at some point. But for now, let's just let's work on a feature. So I want to pull up. This feature is in. Oh, I killed my window. What did I do with it? See, this is what it looks like when I'm. Okay, here we go. Learning a new thing. Okay. So I want, and then I made it smaller. Oh my gosh. All right, let's try this again. How do I make it bigger again? What did I do? There we go. I should probably make this whole thing like way bigger now that I think about it. Y'all aren't gonna be able to see anything. Oh, that might be too big. We'll see. One thing I had set up with Zed, but I do not have set up with neovim, is like streaming settings. So I could, just pop in, go uncomment some config, and then my whole setup would be bigger. So we may run into some similar challenges, but we'll see. Okay, so let's try this again. I want to go to Ash Phoenix. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where the buttons are anymore. So what we want to do with Ash Phoenix is we want to add an extension to it that will give you code interface functions for your forms. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If I go to like, let's just go find like a user in here. So let's make this a little bit smaller. So Ash has this thing called code interfaces. And so I have this, like, for example, this create action here, right? I can say code interface. I wonder if how do you restart the language server in neovim? This is brand new for me. Let's see. Can I do like LSP? Oh, LSP restart. Oh, cool. It crashed. Okay. Looks else. Okay, here's what I'm going to try to do. This is a classic, fix my, I don't need either of these. All right. Cool. That's easy enough. So now let's try that again. LSP, no, not info. LSP restart. Okay, see output panel. Okay, it says client Elixir ls code with exit code 1 and signal 0. All right, where do I go to see LSP logs? I'm going to assume there's some kind of, LSP log. Look at that. Okay. Oh, it's dependencies. It's dependencies, right? I forgot about this. So let's fetch the dependencies. Oh, it says it already has. Oh, it's probably running in dev mode. No, mixed.gets does get them all actually. I wonder why it's having trouble. Let me try getting rid of it one more time. And then how do I close the buffer? Okay, that's good enough. That was the window. Let's LSP restart again. Maybe LSP, I can stop it without. Let's stop it. Yeah, I get it. It crashed. Check log for errors. Okay, I'll look again. ASDF not found. Let's see what's going on here. Looking for me's not. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so this was, okay, that's 3 minutes ago. So the most recent logs seem to suggest it's doing fine, but something interesting is, it says it's not finding NEES or ASDF, which is not true. Sorry, not true. It should be able to find it. So if I do, maybe it's something to do with the startup environment of neovim. Let me try starting it manually. That's not how you exit. Let's see, I have not this. All right, let me open it with the neovim command, because that'd actually be pretty interesting. If it's not using my shell, then that would be kind of a problem, because I have a script that's opening this stuff. Let's see. Okay. It's so interesting. It's telling me, maybe it's like a, oh no, it's telling me that like the only recent logs are not showing a crash. They're showing that this thing's actually working, right? So what would the problem be? I'm not sure. Let me see. All right. Yeah. All right. I mean, let me double check something here. Let me make sure that I'm not actually just being crazy, and maybe it's like running, and the real problem is something else. Let's be LSP info. Does that tell me anything useful? Interesting. Failed to get version. Tried. Okay. This seems like a relatively... Oh. Does brew install... Let's see. Which Elixir... Okay, so it should have that. I do think I have like some sort of weird environment problem with using NVim or neovim specifically that's causing the problem, because yeah, it's weird. It's getting it right here. Yeah. I need like a Vim guru, neovim. Where's Steve's DV or whatever his name is when you need him, right? Yeah, so this is really interesting. Okay, here we go. Raise an exception. How do I set that? Okay, there we go. In module Spark Elixir sense. Redefining module, that's all fine, redefining, but here's the one that it actually is a problem. It says table raise an exception. Oh, the error has nothing to do with, it has everything to do with dialyzer. Dialyzer worker. How strange. Can I disable the dialyzer worker? Let's see. There were some docs in I mean, this has got to be, this right here has got to be the actual problem. Failed to get the version. Okay, where are my arrow buttons on this keyboard? Yep. Okay, I didn't return a version, which was surprising. But it does seem to be able to run the thing, and it says, okay, Mi's executable found. Interesting. So it looks like neovim doesn't know about my path, which is not what I expected to be debugging before I actually got into working on this feature. But this is an interesting one. All right, so I mean, I guess we gotta Google some stuff. Let me see. Yeah, let me try something real quick. All right, let's see. Okay, so I want to Google this. I guess I can Google this on the screen over here. Let's see. Does this new streaming setup know about dragging windows into? Nope, didn't like that. All right, let's try again. Bring this all the way over. Oh, this is looking better. I'm gonna put it on top though. That's annoying. If I do, yeah, there we go. Look at that. the master of my tools. All right. So our problem is neovim. You can see all the other help I've had with neovim. Neovim and or like neovim not having from. I guess this would be from my zish end. Okay, that's not the problem. Let's see. You know, no, because I'm running it directly, like I'm running it like directly like this. So I don't know why it wouldn't. How do I get an environment variable? Like see what neovim has for, okay, I can echo. Oh, I see, that's just, yeah, that makes sense. I can use the exclamation point. No, here we go. Exclamation point, echo, tab. Yeah, so this, okay. I mean, it has me's and everything else in it. So why would it not find the, oh, you know what? I think this version is that's a red herring. Okay, it's all a red herring. This is just something that like Mason or whatever this LSP thing or whatever the LSP thing is trying to do for me. And it's not succeeding. So, all right. Let's double check and make sure that this is still just like actually broken. I forget how. Expecting me to press what? Control base to get. I think that. Oh. Hold on. All right. I don't know what my logs are telling me that it's broken for, but it looks to be working. So let's get back to it then, why don't we? And actually work on this thing. So, yeah, all right. This is good. Okay, so right now we have code interfaces. Figure out where my fingers go on this new keyboard. And if we go to, it's like a simple resource. I mean, this is simple enough, but let's look at, there was like a user that was like pretty, yeah, this is simple. Okay. So what we can do either on the domain or on the resource is we can say code interface. And let's see, is it going to give me, yeah. But you know, it's interesting. Okay, so this is, why isn't it giving me docs for the, this is not using the extension, I think, that the Spark extension was not right. Kind of an interesting expansion, but all right, that's fine. I don't need this thing to work. It's fine. So we can say define, you know, create, and this is good enough on its own. Boom, nailed it. Learned how to write a file in neovim. All right. So what I can do, let's. You know what's crazy? I promise, I'm like the fastest typer in the world normally, but I barely know how to use this keyboard. Like this thing, this is one of those like I don't know, I can't even pick it up to show to you. Here, I can upload this one. It's like the Moonlander, you know, split keyboard. It's awesome, but everything about it is different. My whole life everything is different. So it's a huge learning curve to figure out how to do this. You know what I should check on though? I should check and make sure that my audio is actually like coming through the stream at all. Let's see. Because nobody is in chat yet. Where y'all at? See, you stop streaming for a couple weeks and everybody disappears. Let's see. Am I the quietest person in the world? God. There's 3 people watching and you guys can't hear anything I'm saying. Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what's going on here? Oh, it's perfect. Okay, okay. So there's something going on with my end. I don't know what it is, but it's making me think that I can't hear myself. All right, whatever. So y'all can hear me. Thank you very much, Boost Coder. See, chat, see, fam, this is what you're supposed to do. You gotta let people know. All right, thank you. All right, getting back to it. So, given this, that is not a command that works in. Can't I don't know, whatever. Does clear work in? No, it does work in IEX. Okay, that's nice. All right, so now I can say with this resource here, I can say ash phoenix test user create, and this gives me this create function. So I define this create interface, and now I can call this function. And if I call it with 0 arguments, it's probably going to fail. There's probably, I mean, I assume there's something required. Yeah, it's going to say like email is required. Okay, so let's call it. Let's just confirm that this thing actually works and call it with an email. Sent. Got to find all these symbols on this new keyboard. All right, email. All right. Zach at zach.com. Beautiful. All right, so it works. So we can create a user using this interface. Now what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to create a new form for a given action using a similar function. And so this is really useful because what happens in Ash Phoenix is you see something like this. You see something like user Ash. Oh my gosh. Ash Phoenix dot form dot for create, and then you'd put in like an action like create, and then you could change some stuff, or you configure it in some way. But the problem is, and one of the things is we encourage people to use you know what, I just realized that my chat is not, I'm not looking at the right thing, so I'm not getting live chat. Come on, here we go, chat. My mouth moves and the audio comes a little later. That's interesting. What? All right, maybe let me try using my other webcam, because I have had problems with using my phone as the webcam. So I plug in a new webcam, and now let's update my code share. Update my code share video capture device. It's not going to look as good, but that'll just have to be what it is. All right, let's take this down. All right, so you can let me know now if using this regular webcam is a little bit better in terms of, oh, you know what? You guys probably can't. No, can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. All right. You can let me know if it's any better. All right. Now that I actually have chat pulled up, that's nice. So what we want for people to be able to discover these functions, but also more importantly to know when things are actually used throughout their code base by looking for specific things like user dot create, what we want them to be able to look for is like form for actually it's form to create. And then this is a lot prettier, but it would also just accept the it would also just accept the parameters and the options, etc. There's some interesting challenges, which is we probably want to ignore positional arguments and some other things like that. Oh, interesting. The audio desync is still there. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be what it is. I don't really know what I would even do. I wonder. I mean, I don't think it would be anything like configured on the... It's just the camera. That's interesting too. Okay. Is there like a use buffering? What does that mean? Let me turn off use buffering and let's see. All right, we'll see if it maybe it like catches up here in a second or something. I'm not really sure what use buffering does. You type while saying something, and I see exactly what you're saying being typed. Right. I see what you're saying. I don't know. All right. Well, I turned off the use buffering option. We can see if that helped. I appreciate it, by the way, because it's like getting streaming set up is just the most ridiculous thing. So yeah, this is what we want to be able to do. User.form to create, etc. Oh, that was it. Hey, perfect. So what we need is we need a new extension in Ash Phoenix, which is kind of interesting. Like Ash Phoenix does not currently have any extensions. So to do this, we're going to need to make a new file. Actually, I think we're going to use just Ash Phoenix is going to be the extension, because I don't think there's much going on in that file right now. Yeah. Okay. It's just are we using this anywhere? I don't think we're using this anywhere. All right. All right. So what this will turn into is that this module is an extension to add form builders, I guess, to the code interface. That's good enough for now. All right. So, what does this look like in practice? So first thing, we need to define the DSL. I mean, is there a DSL? I mean, right now there isn't. There is not a DSL. Why would there be a DSL? I don't think we have anything to configure at the moment. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to say we need a transformer. So this would be, something like, add form code interfaces. And then we'll call, I guess we do technically need the DSL module for reasons. Because it contains the extension. So we say use spark.dsl. I can't type anymore. Extension. And then we'd say transformers. And then we'd have these add form code interfaces as the transformer. So this, we can module.false all of these things. So now we will, oh, you know what? No, I don't need this DSL module because this thing itself is the extension. We're not building a whole DSL. Okay, easy enough. You know, I'm curious, this is on this new keyboard. I'm wondering like how clickety clackety is it on the microphone? Is it like annoyingly loud clickety clackety? Is it like how is it? I feel like I got the brown, the MX brown switches, so I feel like it should be about as quiet as a mechanical keyboard can be, or like it's pretty quiet, but oh, okay, cool. All right, so a transformer is pretty simple. What it does is it takes a DSL, what do we typically call this? DSL state, and it returns the new DSL state. So we can start by just returning OK DSL state. Easy enough. That's cool. I'm actually really surprised that you can't hear me. I wonder if I have like some sort of noise gate or something that yeah, I'm not sure. So just this is enough to have, I mean, the extension doesn't do anything, but it is an extension. So if I go back to our user resource here, I can now say, what does this look like? I would say extensions. Oh, come on. Extensions. And then I can put in here Ash Phoenix. Cool. Thank you, BizCoder. See, this, I gotta love it. Thank you. It's always so hard to know like how your stream is actually coming through. So I did one stream where for like an hour nobody was able to hear me. There was like 15 people watching and nobody could hear me and nobody said anything, and I was just so confused. All right. Thank you. You know, Bonagam is great. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the handle right, but done a lot of great stuff. All right, so we have this Ash Phoenix extension now, and so the idea is that it would extend this right here to make a form to create function. So there is some challenge here that makes me think we may not be able to do it automatically on the call to define, because of the positional args that are typically not used when you're building a form. And so to give an example here, right, what I might do is I might say args email. Where is that button? There it is. So now if I go up into here and why did it run my tests? That was the craziest shit I ever saw in my life. What? Oh, I guess because I ran in test env and it like starts xunit or something. I have no idea what the hell that was. Anyway, so now what you'll be able to see is this should work with a positional argument of the email instead of let's see. No, it did not. Okay, let me just restart this. Yeah, so now it uses a positional argument. And the challenge with the positional arguments is how we actually accomplish that in ashphoenix.form, because typically everything comes out of the params. So I'm not really sure. And it might mean that what we have to do to make this work is have like a you know, define form like this. I don't really, I mean, do I like it? Maybe I do like it. Maybe I prefer define form. Or maybe we should even just do it as its own thing. Like this sort of thing. Like we can say Phoenix to define forms, and you can just give me the actions, like create, update. The only thing that would make this not ideal is it doesn't just automatically extend. Oh, I did not expect it. I thought this was gonna be a really quick and easy thing, but this is actually getting a little bit more complex, because this wouldn't just magically work for domains. For domains, you would have to do something a little different. We would need to know the resource. Yeah, we would have to know the resource. So what does this look like? What does this look like? So I think what this probably means, though, is we can't use define form here, because this is going to drop in our new data structure in a list that other stuff is already expecting to just be like instances of the code interface struct. So we can't just drop stuff in. So I mean, what we could do is we could support a different syntax if it's a domain or if it's a resource. What's interesting is you can't know when you're, so I'd have to make two. What can I add? New entity types to existing sections. So you can, it's just that you can't add new types that like other things aren't expecting, but if they actually produce like the same struct, then you can. So like if I was going to add define form, as long as it added the same type of thing as this, then it would be fine. But also that is a problem. Like you don't want it to add the same type of thing, because yeah, you don't want it to add the same type of thing, because then it would get new functions defined. But so the way that you can add new entity types to existing sections, there's like a DSL patch tool that lets you do it. It just has to, like I said, it has to produce the same type of thing. And in this case, it would be like a definition or something. I forget what the, let me see, what's the, it's like encode interface. Yeah, it's so it could be one of two things right now: a calculation interface, or this Nash resource interface. Pain in the ass. Yeah, so it would look like this. Right. Okay. So yeah, you get it then. Yeah. Yeah. This is tough. This isn't as straightforward as just for every code interface add a. I mean, maybe that's where we want to get back to, because that is like a lot simpler, right? So if I could just do it based off of this, what is the limitation for this, and the reason that this causes problems is, let's say you have like two. Let's say you have one of these that takes an ID. and one that takes an email. And I called this like, I guess you would have to give it a new name. You wouldn't, does it let you do this actually? Let's see. It's so stupid that this thing is running tests every time I save changes. Oh yeah. Okay. So cannot compile. Okay. Oh, is it giving me an error? What's it saying? Create for conflicts with. Yeah. Okay. So you actually do get errors in the case that you've made something ambiguous. So you'd have to do something like. But what's interesting. Yeah. So I think that's actually fine. If I did something like this. Do I want to do this? Do I want to just try it and see what happens? Oh. Yeah, I guess you should. Okay, let's just see what happens. We'll do it without the DSL. If it causes, let's see. Okay, there's a reason maybe not to do it. Oh, I guess you just don't have to use the extension. Yeah, so I was going to say for some people, if I do this, if I get this wrong and it defines functions that like conflict in some way, that's fine because they don't have to use, it's only people who use this extension. So if they use the extension, then it'll say, hey, you've got some sort of conflict in your function names. And what we'll do at that point is add like an option that lets you opt out of defining it for certain interfaces. So I think we're actually going to be okay. Yeah, we're going to be fine. All right, so what we're going to do is if we do this here, if we let's get the interfaces first. So ash.resource.info.interfaces for the DSL state. All right, so now when I'm just going to do mix compile. Yeah, so we see we get this one interface called create. And for each one of these, what we want to do is we want to reduce over them. And we want to add a new definition, or not a new, but we're going to add a piece of code to be evaluated. So this will take the, can't find my symbols. All right. It's going to take the DSL state. I guess, can this fail? No, it cannot. So I'll do it this way. And then we're just going to, oh my gosh, I don't know where the buttons are on this new fucking keyboard. All right. Oh, it's so horrible. All right, this time, yeah, there we go. No, I lost my spot again. Okay. All right. Any first-time watchers are probably thinking I'm like the slowest typer of all time, but I promise, like the speed of the wind normally. All right. Yeah, getting better. As soon as I said I was getting better. All right, on my split keyboard, it's actually kind of interesting. The space bar and the shift key are the same button. If I hold it down, it's shift. If I tap it, it's space, which is pretty cool, but also like trips me the hell up from what I used to do. So I get like my space bar and shift wrong a lot. I get a lot of stuff wrong with this but all right, so you know what I realized? I don't need any of this anonymous function crap because we're just going to do it with a private function in here. We'll say something like and add form interface. And this will take, first argument will be the interface, second argument will be the DSL state. All right, so for this, what do we need? What do we need? We need to, actually probably what would make the most sense is to copy, oh, it's actually, no, the code for Ash Phoenix is, or for Ash's regular code interfaces is way more complicated because it does in fact honor positional arguments, etc. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we actually need to do, we need to unique by action. Or no, we need a unique by the name is what we need a unique by. Oh, there it is. So my symbols are also on a different layer of this keyboard. So I have to hold down a button on my keyboard. Well, what did I just do? I don't know what I did. Oh, there's like a, yeah, there you go. You can remove highlighting. Add form interface. Did I typo it? Oh no, I only wrote one region of the file. Oh, interesting. No, I didn't. Add form interface to. Ah, I did it wrong. It goes here. All right. So what we're going to do is we want to define a function like form. Yeah, okay. So let's try it. Let's get some variables going on. Name equals form to yeah, okay. Yeah, here we go. Interface name. Cool. That's easy enough. You know what's actually kind of interesting? Oh, I spelled it wrong. We this is going to be quite like way simpler because we have ashphoenix.form for action, or form for action, I think is what it's called. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to say like you know, call it define equals, and we're going to quote some code. This is some, I know some, for people who aren't familiar with metaprogramming and Elixir, this is probably some like magic voodoo nonsense. But this is a way to build up code programmatically that gets inserted into the resource at compile time. So we can say quote do, and then we're going to do this def unquote name. I think that this is the format that this works. And so now what we're going to take here is we're going to take, well, we need to take the same things that why isn't my space W? Oh, I don't remember where space is or where W is. This needs to take the same arguments as form for action. No, just for action. Interesting. Oh, okay. It does, there is some dynamism here. If it's an update action, then it needs to take the original stuff, an update or destroy action. Is that the case actually? Yeah, it is. It's good enough for now, if that's the case. Let's just say we're just gonna check if, well, first we need to get the action actually. We say action equals easy enough. If there isn't an action, that'll get caught in a thing later, but I think it gets caught after here. So we're going to have to do it ourselves. We're gonna have to check. Okay. And then I guess this should actually be something like, yeah. Gosh, all right. Yeah. All right. So now we would say action.type. No, we say in. And what we should do here, let's, you know what? Yeah, it's just going to be, I don't need to know this. All right, I can tell already. It's just going to be, it's going to be the thing to update and ops or just ops. So, oh, don't do that. All right. All right. Let's comment this out so I can stop getting this really ugly. Okay. So in this case, then yeah, now we can do this. How do you move code? Is there a thing to like shift code up and down, like in the, it's kind of an interesting, yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, I can just do this for now, but I feel like I want a key binding to move lines of code around. That sounds really, really useful. All right. If there's any Vimmers out there that knows a key binding to move Control plus D. So you're saying, let's see, what Control D seems to be taking me to the bottom of the file. I don't think that's it, or at least not, you know, I mean, I could have something weird about my setup that makes Vim not do that. Control plus U goes up a certain amount. Okay. Oh, I see. Well, I think it's like moving my cursor a certain amount. What I'm talking about is like, given these lines of code, I want to like shift them up or down. So like if I press this keybind, then it like takes the next line and puts it at the bottom of my block that I'm looking at. Like it moves a block of code up and down around in a file. Which I think is a little bit different from what you're talking about. All right, so this will take a record and ops. Although this is slightly different, there is an option, I'm remembering now, in code interfaces called require reference. So if it does not require a reference, then we should not have this first argument. So what we can say is opt J moves a line or block command. Okay, okay, that sounds interesting. Okay, not for me, but depending on what you're doing, maybe are you using like a distro or like a plugin that gives you keybinds and stuff? I've done sort of an interesting thing by, yeah, it must be some config, but I like it. I'm gonna go find that. Actually, I'm gonna write that down. So I'm building my config from like the ground up, like every key binding that I have, aside from like the Vim defaults, I came up with. Like I decided on every single one of them. And so I don't have very many right yet, but that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So I want, move blocks of code in neovim. All right, I'll look that up later. Yeah, it is really nice, and I do leader key style stuff. So I have like this nice little join. Join split lines is like I have that with Shift J. I don't know what. I think it's just Shift J or Shift up doesn't do anything. But yeah, Shift J does this, which I think is what you mean by split lines, join lines. I'm not sure. All right, so we're looking good here. So now we can say hash phoenix dot form dot or action. We don't actually care about what it is. And in here we can put in this will be brought into the module's scope. I'm gonna have to do this though. Probably just dot. Yeah. All right, and then unquote action.name and then hots. NeoFusion. No, the theme, what is my theme? I will tell you. Like, hey, I don't mind talking about my config. I spent a lot of time on it recently, so it's kind of fun to talk about it. The theme that I am using is in my init.lua. Lazy. It is Cyberdream. But I also have like a custom background set on the terminal itself. I think I might change my theme. It was fun for a little bit, but I have some problems with it. And like something I need to figure out too is there's not enough like delineation between different windows. Like it's hard to tell where the terminal stops, and I might give the terminal its own background, but I also want to just make, if I add like a split, actually that one's kind of easy to see, but if I do a horizontal split, it's just like too hard to tell where the difference is. So I need to figure that out, but okay. This one's pretty, I mean, this is, I think, like pretty straightforward. So now I just need to say, spark dsl transformer eval dsl state, and then I have no bindings, and then the define. Oh, I like that. Non-active buffer is a little dimmed. Ooh, that's clever. Yeah. Dim non-active buffers. Cool. Hero. All right. So that's actually like it. We got to add one more clause here. Oh yeah, and one thing I also don't have is I don't know how to. I don't think like LSP auto format is set up, and so what I can do is I can like, I can mix format, but then it doesn't like pick up in my editor that like something's happened, so I have to like re-edit the file, which is just like, I hate it. All right. So now, this is just the true case. There it is. And now in this case, there is no record option. And we're not passing it a struct. I think that's it. We can find out because we are using this extension on our one resource. That looks good. So we had like user, and instead of .create, we'll say .form. Okay, we're not getting our function. I wonder why. I did add the extension, right? Let's see. Extensions Phoenix. That's right. And I did add the transformer. Transformers add form code interfaces. That's what this is called. Add form code interfaces. Why would is the eval happening in like the wrong place to do this? I'm not sure. So we should be in the, okay, so we should be getting here. Let's just make sure. All right. Stupid. What button am I pressing? All right. Okay, we're not getting in there. I thought that I was able to tell that that we were getting into that code. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. We are getting in here. Maybe there's, oh, it says action is nil. What? Oh, because that's funny. That's interesting. The problem is, oh, that's not the right. The problem is, I think there's a transformer in Ash. It's like sets the action for the code interfaces. I don't know. Well, let's try one really simple thing, which let's just put this, make sure that this transformer goes as late as it possibly can. Why do you want to give it? Where are my buttons? Here. And so we're just going to say Do I go after you? Yes. The solver figures out like mutually after things. So I can see, does something set the name that I can get into? Oops. I need the now.inspect again. I'm trying to remember to use DBG instead of IO-inspect. Even though it does kind of get you a little too much stuff. Yeah, so the action still isn't set. Okay, that's fine. The main thing here is the action is defaults to the name. Probably shouldn't have to do this here, but you know, whatever. All right. Beautiful. All right, so now if I go to my user, I should get a form to create. Just that should be all I need. Beautiful. So now I have a form to create, and if I give it params, because I think that's an option too. Where is the percent? There it is. Right. Email at bar. What's really cool about this too is like these extension tools that I'm using. Raw params, email. Yep. Beautiful. Okay, we did it. Just need to write some tests. The thing that's interesting is all of these tools that I just used to write this extension are available for like anybody to write their own extension. So, anybody could have done this. Like we're doing it in Ashwini's platform. I think it's like, this is the sort of thing that should be a core thing. But anybody who had wanted to make these like functions automatically defined for their forms could have done it in their own app and not had to wait for me, which I think is pretty powerful aspect of all of this. Okay, so we'll add a little bit of docs here. So this defines a form to name type on this keyboard. Form to name function. Oh, my little ring light died. It's not even a ring light. It's like a little, I don't even know what you'd call it. Does this cable reach? It's not. It's just gonna have to stay dead. We're gonna code in the dark for a little bit here, folks. I think I have another cable I can easily. No. All right, we're in the dark. Okay, so this defines a form to name function for each code interface function. For example, given this code interface definition, so this has to support domains and resources, and we typically actually, like the default, the docs now suggest putting code interfaces on resources. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna model it like it was in the domain. define and we would say positional arguments are ignored given that for when that informs all input typically comes from the Rams app. Yeah. The generated function accepts all the options, I would say passes all options through to that's we'll do 3arg. Where's the slash? Here we go. Okay. Adding the Ash Phoenix extension. Should this extension be called ashphoenix.form? No, it's fine. We'll just call it Ash Phoenix. Adding the Ash Phoenix extension would allow you to call define form to register with password. So we're gonna have to verify. I'm not actually sure if this this may not work, oh my gosh, on domains. So I might need to update this to handle that, but that's, you know, that has to happen anyway, so I can document it that way. All right. Yeah. So, you could then, oh, I should put in here, like, given this code interface definition on a domain, all my counts is why you should not scream with a new keyboard. Okay, so now we could say my app dot counts dot form to register with password. And then I could say Rams. Let's just do it like this. Oh, I hit the undo button. All right, params. Be a decent. Oh my gosh. All right. No, I need a percent. There we go. Now you should use strings because that is the actual way. Yo, Jazz, how's it going? All right, let's see, like place folder. Yeah, it's going good. We're nailing down this this little feature. It's actually going quite well. We're making a tool for like creating forms for actions from Ash Phoenix using named code interface functions instead of having to call it like ashphoenix.form.forcreate, etc. And I have to figure out how to if we should update the documentation. We probably want to. Do we want to? Oh yeah. So we probably want to update the documentation to show this as like the default kind of suggested way to do this, I think. Okay. You know, what mic is this thing using? He's using my fancy new one, or my fancy one, right? Properties. Yeah, okay, good. I don't know why I thought it wasn't. So what we also need to show is, we'll say, update and destroy. Update and destroy actions make the record being updated destroyed as the first argument. And now we should show an example of that. See, this is me. People have been rightfully complaining about all of the lacking examples and things like that. So this is me trying to be a really good person and write out proper examples, decent docs. Chaz, you probably just spoiled you. You're one of the few people who has actually read the book so far. I mean, not spoiled. It doesn't really matter. People know we have technical reviews, but I don't know if we told people that people actually have their hands on the book now, which is pretty fun. No, you can say it. You can say it. I was just picking on you. We can tell people we're in technical review. And there's still more writing to do, so like don't expect it right around the corner. But Chaz is one of the lucky few who has read what we have of the book so far. Okay, so we'd say, yeah, I feel you, Chaz. We're gonna work on that. Also, examples in the regular documentation, like how to compose multiple actions and forms and stuff. I would say that one thing worth looking into is the how-to guides on hex docs they're kind of like, let me see if I can find it. Hex docs.pm. There you go. So there's a I gotta move this over to the right window, which is actually really hard to do with a tiling window manager. All right, come on, there we go. So these where was I? Come on, bring it here. All right, these guides right here, how to have some cool things in them. But I guess do they, maybe we don't have like, probably a good one will be, yeah, actually, I don't think any of these have like hooks or anything like that. So probably what we should do is have like a how-to guide, just called something like how to do like multi-step workflows, or like multi-step actions, that can show, because there's a couple different ways you can do it, right? You can do it with hooks, like, which is what I encourage for like the simple cases, and anything when it's just a, do these three things in a transaction, then like I think hooks are far simpler. But yeah, okay, so I want to do this. Let's see, I put this on this day, and I will say multi-step action guide. So yeah, we can add something that shows doing it with hooks, and something that shows doing it with generic actions and reactors, because there's a lot of things that people don't even realize on that front, like rightfully so, because it's just, we need more examples in the docs, right? But you can oh, what did I do? Oh, I killed Safari is what I did, using a new browser, or using a new all right, let me pull up. I gotta get my tunes back on, because I can't like can't think without music going. All right. Then this needs to go over here so I can see you fine folks. And then I need to pull up Restream again because I just killed my chat window. Oh my gosh. All right. And pull up chat. Okay. So something that you can do that's like really, really quite useful, is you can define a reactor, right? Which I'm not going to describe here. That's its own topic. But you can make an action called like, do my workflow, and say it returns like a string or something. And then you can just say run, and then you can put in your reactor module. And then if you have like arguments, they will get passed to through as inputs to the reactor. So if you have like a complex multi-step workflow that you might want to do things in, async, you might want to roll back steps. That's especially when you should choose a reactor. So the reactor module is different. The reactor, it's another thing that you can do. So if you look in, see, like example complex reactor. So reactor looks like this. You define like inputs to the reactor. Yeah, so ash.reactor is like an extension to reactor that adds like steps that will to like create and update resources and do all this sort of stuff. So you can define all of these steps, and each of these steps like can actually do like can have like rollbacks and stuff like that. So in here, I could define like def compensate, or no, def, what is the function? I forget. Well, let's take a look. Yeah. So we have run result, undo result. No, these are types. Yeah, compensate. Compensate. So you can define, I was right. Yeah, so Reactor allows for saga patterns, exactly. And it's an async graph resolved thing. So it's like really great for performance and all sorts of different things like that. And the main thing is, okay, I don't need to keep this open. The main thing is that if you have a reactor, you can just drop that directly into the run function. So it could be a module that has the run function that's like an implementation, or it could be a reactor, which is useful if you're if you're doing that sort of thing. Because what's nice about that is that these regular actions can be put in interfaces. You can make forms for them, like all sorts of other shit. Okay, so I need to do, let's say this form to, let's just update user. And let's do, thank you for that. I will copy that. Copy it right now. So alt might be kind of a difficult one for me because those are all taken, alt and directions are taken by, are taken up from my window manager. But I could, what would I want to do that? Forget the keybinds to expand my window and all right, so let's see. So in visual mode, you have Alt J. What would I use? Actually, let's see. What do I have right now? So, oh shit. So I want to see what my Shift J and K or Shift J. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, wait, does that do that in visual mode though? It does. But I think I'm fine with it. I think I would just do it with Shift because I don't think I have Shift K doing anything. Yeah, so let's just see. Do I just say Shift like this? I thought I had to use like curly brackets or something to. Maybe that's only for leader. I think I would lose Shift J, but only in visual mode, which is fine because I don't use Shift J in visual mode. I do it in normal mode. All right. Oh, that's not. So now what it is if I did this. Okay, it did the. Oh, why did it do the same? Did the same thing. Did I do something wrong here with Shift? Is this not how I do it? Oh, it's just the capital letter. Like, oh, you mean, no, what do you mean? Just the capital letters. This is it, right? You mean the capital letter Shift or the capital letter S? Oh, duh. Okay, 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 okay. Thank you. I get it now. Thank you. All right. Let's try this again. Right. Yeah. That's good. I like that so much. Beautiful. Thank you. Hold on a second. Uh, All right. No music. That's interesting. Um, I wonder what happened. I lost my window and I had to, let me see if I can. It's Mac OS audio capture. Let's switch it to Safari. There we go. Is music back now? I accidentally hard quit Safari because I don't know what my fucking buttons do. All right. Cool. So I got my fancy new thing. I can close this now. Let me reopen so I can use it again. All right, perfect. Ash Phoenix. All right, so you know what's interesting though? There's a couple things to do. No, it's fine. All right, so this is decent documentation. We have the update case. We have showing how the ops work. There's a couple things that need to happen. We need to add docs. And this is, we kind of have to, I need to look at the docs that we generate for right, so no, let me look at the ones that we do for actions. There you go. Kind of an interesting question. Like, I think that the action description is pretty useful to have. Why does that look? Oh, no. Yeah. So I think that we would say I feel like the name, it's in the name, like form to create. So I can just put the action description as the first line, right? I think so. Creates a form for the action.name on, but we don't have the resource. We would say describe action. Okay, I need to go back to my what does that do? Oh, I didn't even know we did this. Fucking fancy. All right, well, we don't need that for now. Yeah. We don't need that because I mean, it would actually be nice to have something that explains the form a little bit better, like what params are accepted or something. But I think for now we're just going to leave this. We're going to let this go. These options.docs. What the? No, I need to go right back to it and look at what the hell that is. Oh. Yeah, this is yeah, okay, what do I do here though? I want to do this. It gets a little bit more complicated because I don't know that I have fully covered the options for in the thing. So what I'm gonna have to do is the old-fashioned way. it's interesting because it would be better to describe the docs or the, like, if I, like, depending on the action, use the appropriate ops, right? So I guess they all use the same ops, don't they? Yeah, just at 4 ops. Okay, fine. That's easy enough. This should be. Something I also want to figure out how to do is the way I do one, like I want when I press like the indent, I want it to just stay in visual mode. I know that I can do it like multiple indents at a time, but a lot of time I just like to press it until it's where I want it to be, you know, like, because like, yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of weird right now. Okay. Yeah. I don't need, oh, any additional options. Yeah, okay, I do actually want that then. Yeah, okay. Shift. Well, yeah, but if I select like multiple lines and I do shift, it takes me out of visual mode. But I want to keep it. I want it to keep. Oh, it doesn't remove visual mode. Interesting. It does for me. So maybe you have like some config, or I have some config that does it. I don't know. But this did in Vim mode and Z. It did the same thing. So it seems like it's the default behavior of Vim. I could be wrong. Words. All right, so 4 ops. We need to get this somewhere else. So we said at 4 ops. Oh, form. So we need to be able to get this out in a function. We need 4 ops and nested form ops. I'm assuming nested form ops is like right below. Yeah. So let's do this here. I think I need to like make that respond faster. Like, yeah, it needs to think I'm holding it like right away when there's like a, because I use the same button for space and shift. I'm gonna work on that. All right. first time. Look at that. Okay. So did that work? Did not. Probably because I didn't do it right. Because the doc, this, yeah, I'm only defining it in the update destroy branch. Actually, I need to, fuck it, it's fine, I'll just copy it. Did I get all of it? I don't even know. Stupid. Figure it out later. Oh, okay. Oh. Ah, shit. Yeah, so that was, I don't know, I closed the thing, so I don't know what the line that was, but we had, yeah, this action, it's inside the quote block. I guess I would have to unquote. This is annoying. Gotta do it this way. Technically slightly unoptimized. Whatever. Okay, we do it. Boom. So it describes the options. Yeah. Okay. I can look at that. Okay, so they document themselves now. There's only one thing left to do. Well, there's two things left to do. The first one is to find out if this actually works on domains. I guess there's one other thing to do, which is to format this stuff, because again, I need to figure out how to do that by default in neovim. Okay, so we have our user resource, and it's using the ashphoenix.test domain, which is a little bit annoying. Do we have any domains in here? Oh, using the ashphoenix test domain, so that's fine. All right. I guess there actually is more to do than I said. But this user has an update action, right? Yeah. right, so this is probably gonna break because of something I did wrong. Because we'll see. I don't think that it's expecting like the extension, the interfaces live like elsewhere, I guess is the real thing. But let's see. I mean, let's just find out. So now, theoretically, if I did it right, or if it, you know, if it's just gonna work, then I'll have ashphoenix.test.domain form. Yeah, and I don't have that. Interesting. So the question is, why not? And I think I know why. I think it's because well, we have it's like fundamentally different what the domain interfaces look like, right? So this has like no, sorry. The define is like inside. How do we get the interfaces in the domain? Let's see. For reference, okay. Okay, it's actually kind of fine because, yeah, we need to get the, okay. So in our, we know that, yeah, these are gonna, okay. We need to modify our transformer. So we're getting the interfaces. Wait. Let's think. Okay. So what needs to happen is we would say something like if interesting, it says it's only going to take, how do we test if something is a resource again? Oh my gosh. Okay. Spark.dsl.is. Does that work on module.spark is register, it's a module attribute. Okay, so that's a problem. Okay, I think it's fine. We can use like we can say case and if we get none, then we can check to see if there's any, like, and there just won't be if it's a domain. So we're gonna have to change up a little bit about a very small bit about how we do this, which is that the resource now is not just module, like, oh, my kingdom for figuring out how to make format on save work. It's the time to do it right now. Okay, so we'd say references enum, actually just going to be another reduce. No, it's references. Well, it is a reduce, but the references have the resource in them. I'll just say reference. So this is not going to get the interfaces from the DSL state. It's going to get them from reference dot something. This is in, gotta go back to that file. That was in domain. Oh, it's right there. The reference and then reference dot resource. Wait, what? Where does it get its? So, oh, you give it the domain. Oh, the definitions. Okay, and otherwise it pulls them from the thing. So the definitions. How's just reference dot definitions. Okay, and then reference dot resource as well, right? Yep. Okay. Reference dot definitions. Reference dot resource. This will be. Sick. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try your key map thing because I would really like that to be solved. Try it in a second. So this one also needs to not take the resource. I believe. Yeah, it does. And in that case, we'll say resource equals, we have a thing for this dot transformer dot get persisted what is the button? There we go. And then I can do this way as well. Oh my gosh. So now this needs to take the resource. And any calls to module are going to have to be replaced with that going to work? Okay, it's not that many. I'm just going to do it by hand because I don't want to figure out how to do what I'm doing wrong with that replacement. Need to get better with using my motions too. Like I use like beginning and end of words sometimes, but sometimes I just find myself like tapping left and right a million times. I need to practice with the new keyboard too more. All right. Ooh. No function clause matching and get. Oh. So I'm assuming probably what I have is, yeah, it's right here. What did I close in for? Okay. There we go. Did I just open neovim and neovim? I don't know what I did. So that one still works. Come on. What we want to see is, does this have form? No, test.domain. No, it does. It still doesn't have it. Okay, so let's take a look at. Yeah. This one's been a beast because I've never used anything like it. The split keyboard is just so foreign to me. I love it. I mean, it is really nice, and I do find myself like far more comfortable, and like it's actively helping with my wrist issues, but it is tough. All right, so let's see, what are we doing again? We want to find the domain. So if we get any resource references or any references, then we reduce. Let's just see, are we getting here at all? Okay, so yeah, we do have, okay, that's good. We have the definition here. Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. I did it again. I keep exiting the window when I just want to get out of the terminal. Yeah, it's the last window. Okay, just, oh. What the fuck is going on here? That was nuts. It's really nice, yeah. All right. It's the where we get the action that is the problem. We're getting it out of the DSL state, and that doesn't work anymore. We need to get it out of the resource. Although this is interesting. We have to do this differently. If it's the resource itself that we're doing this for, then we need to get it out of the DSL state. Otherwise, we'll cause a compiler deadlock. So I'll format this. I'm gonna let the formatter do it for me. So now up here, when we're doing it for the resource, all right. Why is it so big? All right, here we go. Where are all these commands coming from? There we go. All right, it's gonna be the one. Yeah, all right, I need to fix this right here. I need to provide it with a user, which is like this. Boom. Boom. All right. We're 2 feet from the finish line here. If I can just, oh my gosh. Okay. So working everywhere. So the only thing that's left to do is we're gonna make a test for this. Just call this, I guess we have an Ash Phoenix test, and that's where this is coming from. Yeah, okay, so extension runs on or defines no. Oh yeah, no. I want to say that I'm getting a form from but I'm looking for is there. Right, and then we just need the same thing for definition defines functions on the domain. Oh, this I did the domain one, not the right. So there's a bit, I guess there's a tiny bit more to do before I can call this day. Specifically, we need an installer for this now. And so because we want to add this, actually, no, we don't need an installer for this yet because there's no DSL. So there's nothing to do at all. We're done. We did it. Wow. Finished a whole feature in one stream. That's nice. End to end. Okay, looks like a bunch of failures. What do we got? Oh no, those are warnings. That's fine. I know about those. I'll deal with those later in tests. I think it's just the formatter that failed. So I'll just format after this. I guess the one thing I do need to do still, which is annoying, but is in the probably up here. Yeah. I need to document this as the sort of default way to do it. Okay, so Yeah, I feel you, Chaz. There's a lot of like little sidelong benefits to having things as a resource. And like a lot of them get kind of realized later on down the road too. Like a good example is like people will often, you wrap an external service in a resource. So you like call an action and it like hits an API or something and you get your response back. And then you realize like, oh, I can just slap this into a GraphQL or a JSON API or a form, right? So when you're building, this is pretty cool. Like let's say you have like an external integration with GitHub that can like list your GitHub issues or something, right? You can go like, if you define that as a resource and an action called like list issues, right? You can just go to the admin and like list GitHub issues through the UI, like automatically. If you have like a form that calls an external service to like, that does like a post request, that also just shows up in the admin, or you can make it part of your own API. Like, so there's a lot of like interesting benefits that come from modeling things as resources, even when like, it can be a relatively simple wrapper over like an action plus, some fields, or you don't even need fields. You can have a resource with just generic actions that return maps, and then that doesn't even define a struct for the resource. So I feel you. It's pretty nice to work that way. Yeah, I'm really excited to see kind of how that all shapes up. Okay. Do I have examples of? Kind of interesting. We don't have. Should add a better, just simple example. Do I have an example here? Like, yeah. Okay, I'm just wasting time doing it that way. there like an update assign in Phoenix? Or is it just assign, like an update? No, there's not an update assign. It's kind of annoying. I feel like that should be a thing. All right, we'll just find what to say. My music went away. There it is. I'm actually kind of like happy to be writing this example anyway, because there's not just like a single example in this repo of like just the simplest kind of form that you might want to do, which is wild. So typically what you would do is you would redirect here. Guessing I'll just say what do you say, navigate? Like what does this actually look like? I forget. I guess what I can do is, where's the place that we're doing this? Go away. Actually, this. Bye. Okay, there we go. Oh, where did it go? Did I not say? There it is. Kind of a bad example because it's like registering a user. If you want, yes, you do need to put the resource to data layer as embedded, which is actually like kind of, I can see why that would be a little lame, but at the moment you do need to do that. There's reasons, because it's like a resource being treated as a type has like constraints to how it works. So why does it not like this syntax here? Lost my music again. There it is. All right, so all right, the last thing I need to do is have like a where is the button? There it is. Okay. It's what, Phoenix submit, right? This is so hard. All right, form email. Good enough. All right, Chaz. Hey, thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I might be around. I might stream between now and Christmas. We'll see. But you have a Merry Christmas as well. And to all a good night. All right. All right. Let me just make sure that this is what we have in our other ones. Phoenix change, Phoenix submit. Yep. So this is the theoretically minimal form that people might be looking for. Unexpected token. Got some kind of it's this. Is there a problem? Right, so I'm familiar with these. It's safe to do this because we're doing it at compile time. So I just need to go put this in dash Phoenix. Oh shit. So this goes This is somewhere wherever we're doing. Did it tell me a line number? Oh my gosh. Control T. It's Ash Phoenix line 84. All right, I'm almost there. Yeah, so it's here. Get what this looks like. I think it looks like this. Oh my gosh. Finally found it, and then I backspace it. New keyboard. Killing me. So let's just make sure that the new docs looks good. Now we're good. Let's take a look. Why didn't it put it in the other window? This window manager is great, but confusing sometimes. I guess there's an example of a form right there. No, yeah, there is. Whatever. Well, we have another one now in Ash Phoenix.form. Okay, the only thing that needs to change here is we should highlight in the docs what the thing is. Say. Okay. I would say here we call our new generated function to create one. Cool. So someday when I'm using Aerospace as the window manager. So someday when we can enhance our extension, our language server extension to do jump to definition, we'll be able to and find usages. If you're looking at an action, we'll say find usages, and we'll find you all the places where you like make a form and where you build a change set and all this sort of stuff. So it's going to be really useful to have this in this way. Okay, we did it. I guess I should run one more check because I did make some changes. Make sure everything's looking good. Those warnings during tests are fine. Come on. Any minute now. is it having to do so much? Add all these modules and shit. No retry shouldn't cause it to like blow its dialyzer cache, right? All right. Oh, you know what? Almost done. I'll make this commit. Add Ash Phoenix extension for this extension finds code interface functions for code interface functions for creating forms. So there's one other thing that we need to do. I think we need, let's see, if we look at our thing where we're making, yeah, so we have to copy the way that Ash does this, which is, first off, we need to express a dependency on Spark now. Because we're using it. We don't want to have a transitive dependency. The next thing that we want to do is we want to get our docs. Yeah, we need all of these aliases. What did I do? I lost it somehow. Okay, so the main thing though is we don't have all these extensions. We just have the one. That's interesting. That's annoying. Because I haven't upgraded to the latest version of Elixir in this repository yet. That's fine. Mist Credo alias. Oh, yeah, it's actually, I don't technically need it, but it's a good idea. All right. So now if I say mix docs, it's going to generate a file for me. I got a typo. Okay, so the last thing, very last thing that we need to do is we need to include the file that was just generated, which lives in documentation DSLs. It's interesting. I don't know what that was, but so we need to include that in our our docs up here and our extras. So this is like, I can actually do this. Let me just copy. Yeah. So we can just copy this bad boy. Do I have this in just under reference or? Oh, well, I guess that's just here. And then there's going to be a section matcher under reference. Okay. Like this. Okay. And now, if I run mix docs, it should get me the DSL docs. Oh, you know, what am I thinking though? I did this before. There is no DSL for Ash Phoenix. I guess it's fine though. I can use it. It is consistent if we ever do add a DSL, but I will need to put a note at the top that this, like, because it shows it as an extension. So I can just say, there we go. Good enough. All right. Don't revert. All right. We did it. How exciting. All right, folks. I got one thing left to do before I'm done for the night, which is I'm going to make a little Blue Sky post about this change because it's nice. And then, yeah, and then I'll see you folks next week. I'll probably do one live stream next week. We'll see. If not, Merry Christmas. Thanks for dropping by. Great spending time with you guys. Also, especially Boost Coder for helping me out so much. Thanks. Oh, you know what? Before I go, I got to take that key combo you sent me for staying in visual mode. All right, got it. I'm going to try that.